I think intersectionality as feeling a part of multiple communities can be both beneficial and detrimental. So the concept of intersectionality is useful to me, but I would say more useful would be Gloria Anzaldua's understandings of Mestiza consciousness and living in the borderlands. So she's a Chicana lesbian, specifically from Texas, theorist and activist who unfortunately passed away a few years ago. But her theories have really informed my way of negotiating and navigating through the borderlands, really, right? So growing up, I had white family members who were racist against Mexican people in my family. And so dealing with that, right, I'm having a good attitude about it now, but growing up, that was a really hard place to be, right? To hear some of your family members talk badly about essentially your other family members. And so developing the coping mechanisms and the skills to navigate that were very important. And Gloria Anzaldúa calls that mestiza consciousness, that we can operate in a world in which we don't quite belong anywhere. And I would say that I feel that often in all of my identities, right? As a woman, I feel that often, especially within the context of academia or any institution, really, that we're still proving ourselves worthy to be in these spaces. And I think that's compounded by my identity as a Chicana and as a lesbian woman. So, all of the communities that I'm a part of are really wonderful. I have access to those communities, to the queer community, to the Chicano community, to feminist community, right? But I think the power lies in building spaces in which they're not these separate spheres, but rather inclusive communities that embrace those of us who have identities that span beyond just that singular notion of what that community represents. And that's very difficult work. It's very difficult work for communities to build that sense of inclusivity, right? And I think one of my strengths as somebody who is in all of these multiple communities is that I can recognize when and how a community is being truly inclusive versus tokenizing somebody, right? Seeing people of color as an afterthought or queer people as an afterthought, right? And the ways that that operates can be very damaging for people to want to continue to do that kind of social justice work in those spheres. And so it's that constant struggle of wanting to be in those spaces, of wanting to shape those spaces to be inclusive to people who have differences, lots of differences, and valuing that diversity, right, instead of being afraid of it. And then also to challenge those spaces themselves to be more inclusive and to help build other spaces for people who may need those spaces away